Okay, so I want to say before I start this video, this is my personal collection doll, Oliver. He's a full-bodied silicone by Melissa McRory. And this little guy right here is the Reborn Thomas from Bountiful Baby. I just finished painting him, and he is actually for sale, so oh my goodness. So if you are interested in him, I will leave his Etsy link down below. So now that that's said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hey guys, so I'm going to do a bit of a different video today. It's something that just kind of came to me in my head, and I know a lot of people wonder about this because a lot of people only have Reborns or they only have Silicones and they don't understand the other one. And maybe they want to learn a little bit about them, or maybe they want to try out a Reborn or a Silicone, but they're not sure if they'll like them like they like their current Reborn or Silicone. Sorry if that was confusing. I just want to tell you guys in the comparisons that I've generally seen with Silicones and Reborns. I've had both Silicone and Reborn dolls, way more Reborns than Silicones, but I feel like I have a good feel of both of them to do this video. So I hope this helps somebody out that maybe wants to decide if they want to get a Reborn or a Silicone. That being said, I'm using these two babies to do the comparison because they're about the same size. Now really I would like to either have a full-bodied Silicone and a full-bodied Reborn, or a cloth-bodied Silicone and a cloth-bodied Reborn, but unfortunately I don't have one or the other. All I have is a full-bodied Silicone and a cloth-bodied Reborn. So please bear with me. So I'm going to try to make this review as fair as possible to both sides of the story. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Now the biggest differences between Silicone babies and Reborn babies are that they are made out of different material, which is why they're called Reborns and Silicone babies. So even though they are both made to be as realistic as possible, they are made out of different material. So they will look different, feel different, all that kind of stuff. So they are very different. And a little better view. Trying to get as best a view as I can of these two for you guys. So Silicone is very soft and very flexible, as you can see. Extremely flexible, extremely soft, and it's very squishy, and it's also solid. Any Silicone you have, even if it's a cloth bodied, any of the Silicone parts are going to be completely solid, and they're very squishy, like I said. There are different types of Silicone. I'm not entirely sure what kind of Silicone Oliver is, but all Silicone is going to be very nice and soft and flexible and solid. Now with the Reborn, the kits are made out of vinyl and they're hollow. So generally the limbs are filled with weighting material and polyfill. He has some baby powder on his leg. And yeah, they're very hollow. They're not as squishy. They are hard. Vinyl is not a soft material, it's a harder material. But I mean, they're still flexible. It's not like, you know, they're hard as a rock or hard as clay. That's a better example because there are clay babies. They're not going to be as hard as clay. They are cuddly. They're just, you know, they're just hard. You know, if you feel them, you can tell right away, oh, this isn't a real baby, whereas Silicone has a more realistic feel to it. So that's the biggest difference, is the vinyl and the Silicone. And also a lot of Silicones are able to take full pacifiers because they can have an open mouth, whereas a Reborn, you know, their mouths can't open because on the inside it's hollow. So all their polyfill and weighting material and all that kind of stuff is in their head, whereas Silicone, it's nice and solid, so they can, you know, have open mouths, and since Silicone is so flexible, the mouths can, you know, be shut and you won't even know. So that's a thing with them. That's the biggest difference. Another big difference is the painting. I've noticed silicones have, their painting looks different than Reborns. In my opinion, Reborns look way more realistic than silicones, but then again, it depends on the artist and stuff like that. Of course, you can't compare a $100 Reborn and a $15,000 silicone doll, because obviously the more money you pay, the better doll you're gonna get. So you have to keep that in mind. Also, silicones are quite a bit more expensive than Reborn dolls. Now, of course, it depends on the artist, the size, all that kind of stuff, but in general, silicones are a lot more expensive than Reborns. You can get a really, really good quality, realistic Reborn for the price you can of a basic cloth-bodied silicone. So there's that to keep in mind. But you know, as I said in the beginning, I have a cloth-body Reborn and a full-bodied silicone baby. So it's really hard to fairly compare them, even price-wise, because full-body babies, no matter what they are going to be more expensive than cloth-bodied babies. That's just how it is. So I'm not going to compare their prices because it's kind of like apples and oranges. So there's that. So if you were to have a full-bodied Reborn doll, even though it's a full-bodied, you still can't get them wet, you can't put them in water, you can't give them baths, stuff like that. Whereas a silicone baby, if you have a full-bodied silicone baby, you can give them baths and fun things like that. But the reason you can't get Reborns wet is because even if they're full-bodied vinyl, they'll still be connected by joints, so the water can still seep into their body, and it's just not a good idea to give your vinyl baby a bath. Also, I don't think it's good for the vinyl and the paint and stuff. I mean, it should be okay, but I've never soaked a vinyl baby in water, and I don't think it'd be a good idea to try it. But silicone is waterproof, unless of course it has a cloth body, then obviously you can't give it a bath, but he's a full-bodied. So another thing is the flexibility. Again, this is kind of comes into the problem. He's a cloth body, he's not. So I can't fairly compare them, but from what I have learned, cloth body babies are much more cuddly than silicone baby, or than full body babies. Vinyl Reborns are much more harder and less cuddly than full-bodied silicones. So there's that, but altogether, cloth-bodied dolls are much more cuddly in general. And also, cloth-body babies are much easier to pose. I can't pose Oliver at all, really, unless I'm holding him. As you can see, I try to move his hand, it moves right back. Try to move his leg, it moves right back. I can't turn his head, whereas him, I can turn his head, put his little arm up by his head, turn him, you know, I can do all kinds of stuff with posing this guy, whereas him, there's not much I can do. He's not posable. But I figure cloth-bodied silicones are gonna be much easier to pose. But even vinyl Reborns are easier to pose because their arms and legs are connected by joints. They're not one solid piece. But really, that's a lot of the differences I can think of. If I missed something, or if you have a question, feel free to leave it in the comment box below. I hope this was helpful for a lot of people. Really, it all comes down to your personal opinion of which one is better. In my opinion, not one is better than the other. Like I said earlier, they're apples to oranges to me. They're two different things, so I don't say I like one better. I would like to start painting silicone because I'm a Reborn artist right now, and I'd really love to start painting silicone, and I will share my experience with that, and I will also do a video on painting Reborns versus silicones. I think that would be a really fun video to do once I start doing that, but for now, this is the best I can do. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.